Welcome back to the MotorFab YouTube channel. My apologies, this episode will probably go up a day late. Sorry about that, it's just been a little bit busy. Lots been happening around here at MotorFab. Case in point. Enough of that. You have to come back and watch that in a second. I'll show you all about that through this episode. There's a bit been happening. That's not the real motor. That's a dummy block and some heads. But I'm working through what's going to fit and what's going to go where. But the motor mounts are done. Gearbox mounts done. Some driveline angle stuff. You'll see all that this episode. I didn't get a lot of time to go through much welding. I promise. There's been a lot of call for that, so I promise I will get back more into the welding side of things. Things have been a little very rushed lately, but I'll get better. Most importantly, so many comments. I really do apologise for the sound, guys. I try to be as loud as I can, and I know the talking parts are really quiet. You'll notice this episode, hopefully, the footage is a lot better. We've got some pretty cool gimbals and stuff. I've ordered a lot of equipment, a lot of recording equipment. Some of it's arrived, some of it I've used this episode, but not the mic. It didn't turn up. Apparently some kind of health pandemic happened and everyone in the world wants to be a personal trainer or Zumba coach online. So all of the mics are being sold out. I managed to find one that I ordered online that was promised to be here this week before this episode, but it didn't make it. So I don't actually know what's happening with that. Monday's a public holiday here, so Tuesday I'll definitely be chasing them up to find out where's my bloody microphone, and then I can fix the sound. So I promise you guys this will be the last episode with bad sound. My apologies that this one does still have bad sound, but I'm working on fixing that up. So hopefully the camera works a little bit better this time. It's not real great now because I'm back to the old school, but yeah, you should see a few little bits and pieces, better equipment. Yeah, not too much else has been happening. Just a lot of work on the Monaro and a lot of work around the shop. It's been really busy. A lot of contacts for the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. We're selling a lot of MotorFab products as a result of you guys seeing how they come together and what goes on behind the scenes. So I really appreciate that. I think we're just about to crack 1,700 and something subscribers. So I'd say this week, hopefully we'll crack the 2,000. Might have a party with me and two mates. I think that's what you're allowed if the restrictions are lifted. So let's just get into it and get this episode out of the way. One thing I've noticed, a lot of guys watching, not clicking the subscribe button. Please do subscribe it. Yeah, all sorts of crazy algorithms and stuff like that happens, and it helps promote the channel and get better results. If you guys subscribe, the more subscribers we have, the better. I don't make anything out of it. It's just that it's just something I'd like to see grow and see me be able to put together a bit more of a professional attempt at things. So please do like and subscribe, click the button, click the bell, do everything you have to do. Tell your mates, send it to your mum, send it to your dad, send it to grandpa if he probably had got one away in the back of a Monaro back in his day. Good on you, old son. And let's get this thing happening. Right, let's get into this episode. So we're on to a new phase of the old Monaro here. So what we're going to do today is we've got a dummy block here. This isn't our block, but it's a 454 block. We're going to put that in the car because there's a couple of things that we've got to make. We've got to make a sump. We've got to modify the old sump to fit, and we've got to make a gearbox Crossmember. So I don't know if we'll get through all that today, but we get the block in the car. I've got some tough mounts here that we're just about to bang on there. They're actually second hand, so there's so many of these around at the moment. While I'm here, I'll just buzz that side up. These were actually out of the green wagon you guys have probably seen on the channel. We had a small block, cast iron headed small block Chev in it before. Nothing special. Flat tappet deal. Kiwi Pro cast iron heads on it. Pro Comp Chinese crank in it. And column shifted power glide still. and it went 12.1, I think, and 205, little tyre. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, a little street car. It's got the LS in it now, obviously 1050 so far. Still to go better. So we've utilised the mounts. Obviously, as you don't know, small block, big block engine mounts are the same. And oops, lost our socket, sorry. So I still haven't got a converter yet. So if anyone's out there's got a converter, second-hand converter, hit me up. We're the kings of second-hand parts on this build. No fancy stuff here. And it will be tuned with the screwdrivers too. How many of you at home are watching loosen that valve and the engine slams into the car? I got lucky. Normally it does happen. You try to undo the valve real gently and bring the motor down softly and boom, down the car it goes. But that was good. Some people like to get all their mates around and put motors in, or the motor get together party, which is good, but sometimes I reckon it can take longer. I actually prefer to put motors in and out on my own. I think it's easier. Otherwise you fight each other. Not literally, just push each way on each other. This stuff is a bit easier because we're only got a block and there's no gearbox yet. We're going to put that in shortly. Boom, that one's in. Just grab I'll put the right bolts in there later, but because I want everything to clamp up nice and firm, because I want to adjust the engine, while we're at the block we can put the gauge and everything on it and get it true in the car. So when we make our gearbox crossmember, all our driveline angles are perfect and engine straight in the car. So for this instance I'm going to pack a couple of washers in there because I really want the engine mount to pull in tight. Stefan! What are you doing, mate?
What are you doing?
Putting a big block in the Monaro.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How come? That's it?
So I can start making the sump and gearbox crossmember.
Oh yeah.
It's that time, see?
Yeah.
It's that time.
Is that like another block or is that one?
No, that's the other one. That's the one that's sitting in the Tirana.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to make everything for it. Welcome back. Here we are. We've got our a 454 iron block in the galley. She's in there. She's bounded on a second-hand tough mounts. Oh, sorry, smashed the camera around. So they're in there. That's all nice, neat. And we've got our dummy up Turbo400. This is a heavy-duty one. So it's the big girl. And you can see, I'll come back to our little cutout. I actually had quite a bit of criticism not criticism, but a question was asked and it was put to me that 400 won't fit in in the tunnel of a KTG with just that mod, and I was confident I had because I've done it before several times, but not singling out any one person, because quite a few people contacted me and told me that they didn't believe that they fitted. So yeah, I'm not trying to point anything out, it's just I'm used to doing it this way and I've done it before. So there's actually heaps of room. It's really hard to see up there, but there is actually heaps of room left up the top, quite a bit. I'll even jack that bad boy up to quite high as we can go at the back there. So that's on the floor, can't get any more higher than that, and it still doesn't touch at the top anywhere. So it's that back piece, and we can't take the back piece up any higher. And I can still get my fingers between the tunnel and the gearbox there. So yeah, if you're going to spend money on getting the tunnel modified to fit your 400, you don't need to. This bit here, however, you do. Had a lot of questions about that, what we did there lately, and yes, we will be selling that piece to weld in there as a product very soon. So I'm just in the process of cutting that all up, and we'll be able to ship that to your door, and you'll be able to cut your car out and weld that reinforced piece in to fit your gearbox. So we're just waiting on the gearbox mount that we're using to turn up, and then we can mount the gearbox in there. Once the gearbox is mounted, I've set up all my drivetrain alignment and stuff. Then we'll start making a sump. So obviously the sump's got a bit of room to work on. Not a lot of room to work with, sorry. But we'll make that work. There you go, it's in. Hey Darren.
How are you?
Tell us about your car, mate.
Make sure you tune in to Trim Shop Tirana on my YouTube channel.
What's your YouTube channel? This will be interesting.
Trim Shop Tirana.
Just go like that and I'll put a link on the screen. Other way, mate. It's back to front. Yeah, that way.
Trim Shop Tirana.
How do you spell it?
It's just how it sounds.
T.
Right. T-R-I-M.
Yep.
S-H-O-P.
Yep.
Tirana.
Tirana.
Alright. So if you want to see a backyard build from start to finish, no shortcuts, hit the like button.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, thanks mate for that. Cheers.
Thanks. A lot of guys will see I'm welding painted RHS. People say you can't weld paint, but the actual paint that comes on this steel is almost like a weld prep. It actually burns quite nicely and it cleans the steel in front of it. So sometimes you'll actually get a nicer weld if the steel's been painted with the correct paint than you will with a raw steel. You definitely get a nicer the right paint that you will with a piece of steel that's got mill scale on it. Mill scale is your enemy. That's this shit here, where the steel was formed hot and then allowed to cool, and the air around it settled on the steel, and air is obviously coming. That's why we have gas to blow away all the air to get a clean environment for the electrical current to fuse the metals together. Okay, so there it is. There's our Turbo400. We've done our Crossmember. We've got our mounts. I'll show you this side, probably a bit easier to see. They go off the factory mount there, up and around. You see our little cutout section. So what we've done here is kept this area, it's a bit hard to see, kept this area nice and free so we can run our exhaust straight through there. You've got plenty of room to have the exhaust even higher than the gearbox. Obviously it only needs to be level with the bottom of the gearbox. So that's all worked out well. That's why we've got this set up here. And we've sectioned out that part there as well. So you can get the headers through there nicely. You got heaps of room. So that's all worked out really nice. Now, didn't get time to finish it today. It's getting late now. What we're actually going to do is we're going to put a plate on here and put some brackets. And what we're going to do, because you can see that there is level with the back of the uni. So for drag racing rules, you've got to have a tail shaft loop 150 within 150 mil of the yoke. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some brackets off here, and because in a KTG there's nothing on the floor here, and the tunnel is only very shallow. There's not a lot happening there, so there's not a lot to attach a tail shaft loop to. So we're going to run some brackets off here and some spacers, and we're going to run our loop, which is actually going to connect to our gearbox crossmember. So that's going to be something a bit different and pretty cool. And so yeah, if we run through, we got our tough mount there. I'll get the digital box here. So you can see now I'm leaning on the thing. Hang on a sec, everything's moved. There you go there. It's on the hoist, so it's not dead level. But we leveled everything up this morning. So the engine is level in the car, which is good. Now, because of the floor, obviously, I've got the gearbox. You've got about, it's hard to see with the light, about 6 or 8 mil. That's the part we modified, and we took that up as high in the corners there as what we could. Any higher, and your gearbox is going to be in the car with you. So even doing that, you're still going to run a little bit of downhill angle. 400's a pan actually angles back forward, so it ends up that the pan's level, but the engine's actually laying slightly downhill towards the back of the car. That's cool. We're happy with that. That's not a problem. So we'll just measure that. It's a little bit hard to get on. I don't know if you can see that screen. It's about 80. Let me just 86.1. So it's about 4 degrees downward on the back. Now we can't measure this accurately at the moment because we're on the hoist. I'm just going to quickly run through the driveline angles there. At the moment we're 88.8 and we are down, so we're it's going to get 88.8, so we're what's that, 1.2 degrees downward pinion angle at there. In relation to the box being what did I say it was? I forgot already. 86, so it's 4. So 4 and 1 is 5 degrees pinion angle. For something I want to run at the drags, that's perfect. So you can see that's, if you've followed the videos right through, you would have seen us setting up these perches on the diff when we set our pinion angle up, knowing that the gearbox is going to lay back like that in the car. That gives you driveline angle. This particular car, KTGs in general, I think the center line is actually 10mm offset to one side. We've run the diff center to the car, not 10mm offset. That's pretty standard. A lot of factory cars will do that, and the reason being for that, it actually, if it gets into a situation where the drive shaft runs dead straight in line, you know, say if your ride height enables that the drive shaft is going to come through here and be in a dead straight line of all 3 planes, you know, up, down, left, right, and parallel. That way they'll always be parallel. Yeah, the back of the box, the front of the thing, well, they should, otherwise you got a big problem. But if they get in a situation where they run that way and that way, that's your 3 planes, you can't run them 0 dead straight, because the unis will get a massive harmonic vibration. It'll break the unis. It's very common. So you always want some pinion angle or some angle. So if you look at Ford 9-inch diffs standard, they all run 1/4 inch. Offset, they run the diff slightly off. So with this way, we've achieved it the other way. The motor sits over 10mm, the diff sits dead center. So that gives us just a very, very slight differential for the universal joints to have to do some work. And then when they do a bit of work, they don't break. So a little bit of a tech tip for you there. Some people might have other theories, but that's the way I've always learned, and that's the way I've always put cars together. And set them up, and yeah, with the Ute, I mean the Ute's done. I've had the Ute 286 kilometers an hour, I think, and it doesn't fault. It doesn't have any vibration or anything like that. It's actually got a lot more pinion angle than this one, sort of the way that we used to set them up. Now we run a bit less pinion angle, but there you go. It's just a quick run over how to set the motor and box up in the car, and a gearbox crossmember, and what will then become our tail shaft loop. Chevy, what do you think, mate? Let's zoom in on you, buddy. There you go, a bit of focus. What do you think about the engine in the Monaro? Just stop there. People can't see if you come too close, mate. Stop there. Sit. You don't sit anymore. You don't do anything you're told, do you? You shake hands? Yeah. What do you reckon about the big block, mate? I reckon it's pretty rad. Let's have a look. Excuse my... Whoa. My gimbal's going haywire here. There you go. So there she is, a fat 454. Well, this one's actually a 460, 461, something like that. Being 30 thou over. It's in the galley. She's happening. It looks fat too, doesn't it? Got a big motor. Excuse my there we go. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to some of this new equipment, but it'll be better for you guys in the long run. Yeah, this thing's got a mind of its own. There we go. The big girl's got a heart, a beating heart. This is just a block, heads chucked on, to see if everything fits. These are some eBay cheap rocker covers I got years ago. They don't fit because they hit the heater box, which is coming out anyway. And this side here doesn't fit because it hits the wiper motor. I think most of you have probably seen what you do. You actually flip those and put them on the back side as a result of a kit that is made by HKTG stuff, Adam Reeves. So I'm going to grab one of those and show you what goes on there. And then that way we can get that rock cover on. It neatens it up because it puts the wiper motor on the other side of the firewall, so you don't see it and just have a nice cool little billet billet thing on the firewall there to cover that up. In this case, it's very necessary. Look at that big block. Doesn't it look great in there? The whole lot of motor certainly fills up the bay. I apologise if there's a few bits of repeated content in this. My battery equipment crapped itself last night and died, and after I finished doing the gearbox mount and stuff, and I was halfway through filming the content and it all died, so I haven't edited it together yet. I've come back in today to hopefully get the bits and pieces I missed, but there might be some overlap, so I apologise for that. Again, I apologise for the sound, but next week that's going to be fixed, I promise. Okay, so there's our big block. Sits in there nice. We went over the mounts and the gearbox and everything like that. I think where it died was I was talking about how tricky the headers are going to be. It's doable, but they are going to be a bit of a pain in the neck. I'm a big fan of installing racks on these cars. I've done a lot of them. No, I don't do them as a kit yet. I get asked every day nearly. Because there is a lot of work. You've got to modify the column to take a little bearing in the end of it, and then you've got to modify the column, otherwise it slip back and forth, because a lot of them are column shift from the factory, and they were designed to bolt to a fixed box, so you didn't have the movement. When you're trying to run that to uni joints, it gets sloppy, so you've got to machine parts up and lock up the end of the column, and then you've got to put a brace from the chassis rail to the shaft to hold it, because you've got to run 3 unis in there down to the rack, whether you run it at the front or the back. My Utes got a nice rack. It's a little bit of a pain because it's at the back, so the sump's a bit of a custom job, but other than that, it works really well. It drives really nice for Ute. This build here, I didn't want the extra time constraints, my apologies, of doing the rack install, so I opted to stick with the steering box, but that could come back to bite me a little bit. It's going to be a bit of a pain, so I'll make that call very soon. Once all the fab's done, I'll then pull that front end out and rebuild the front end. It does look pretty cool. And I've got the Commodore diff from the rear. I've just left the standard brakes that came on that VS Commodore Borg Warner, and on the front down here we're running that's a HZ Statesman, I believe, aluminium caliper. I've just had them all rebuilt up at the brake shop. So yeah, it's all old school stuff. What are they, like 70 something model? And just basic standard equipment. And I'm going to show you guys, it's a brake setup I've done many times. It's cheap. The HZ Statesman calipers, I actually think it may be all HZ, HXs have the aluminium caliper. I don't know if they have to be Statesman. Someone comment and correct me on that. That combo, they're getting harder to get those calipers, but they're still pretty cheap when you find them. That combo of the Commodore rear and the HZ fronts, with what we do with the Willwood Master and what we do with the pedal ratio and stuff, is a little bit tricky, but we've done so many, we're going to start selling the components that you need as a kit as well, and you'll see that the things just stop insane. Like it's a really good brake setup that makes these old cars stop like a modern car, and we don't run a booster. There is no need for a booster. That's going to start a massive discussion. But yeah, I don't run a booster in the Ute, and it pulls up quite nicely from 167 mile an hour at the drags. No problems at all. I've used to do a lot of circuit cars where you do not run a booster on a circuit car. So yeah, before everyone crucifies me and says you need a booster, Show me a V8 supercar with a booster on it. And they really rely on brakes a lot. So, the setup without the booster works really well. And yeah, I know that's going to start a debate, but yeah, my setup that I always use works great, and I'm going to show you guys through that very soon, and episodes to come. But there you go, it's all in. Heater box is going. I don't know if I covered this in the earlier part before the battery died, but the heater box has got to go. I think we may have covered the wiper motor relocation from HKTG stuff. That'll be a future episode there. So yeah, there it is. It really does fill up the engine bay, doesn't it? Well, that's it for another episode of the build, the HT Junkyard Monaro. Hope you guys are enjoying. Let me know what you think in the comments. What you think about the big fatty in the HT Monaro. It's really cool that it all fits with very minimal modification to the car, which is the part I like. You don't want to cut up a Monaro and wreck it, and it's and I'm really excited to show you guys what we can do on a very standard base. You know, stock suspension. There won't be any mini tubs in this car, not yet anyway. Maybe down the track, but no, not for this process. All standard floor pan, standard front end, standard mount pickups in the rear. Obviously motor fab rear end, but it all bolts into the car. So yeah, it's going to be really fun to show you guys what we can do on a basic platform. And you know, gone are the days of having to cut up. You still can, like look at the Tirana. It's it's as cut up as you can get, but you don't necessarily have to chop a car to pieces to go fast anymore, and do it safely and reliably. So it's I'm really excited to bring that to you. The car's coming along nice. I think we've got about 7 weeks to go till the deadline is set, which was Aussie Rivals Day, June 20. I think that's going to be postponed. It's still going to happen and go ahead, but so I'm still going to try to build the car for that, and I don't know if there'll be a track open at that time or what'll be happening, but wherever I can find a space or let the thing rip on, try to make a hit for you guys. Definitely do a skid and try to get the boots off the back of it, and I'm sure you guys will love to see that. So it's going to get really exciting from here on in, and it's going to happen pretty quickly. So I just got to keep on the game and get my equipment sorted out for you guys to make a better channel and get a bit more structured with our content, which I'm trying to do. Thank you everyone for the support and appreciation of the content that I have been providing. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think about the big block. Some people love it, some people hate it. Obviously, these days it's outlets, turbo outlets. It'd be so easy for me to put a junkyard 5.3 and a couple of Wuhan whistlers or something on it, and do it with ease. But this setup's just a bit different. You know, I've done heaps of turbo setups. I'm more orientated in the turbo side of things than I am. This is my first nitrous car. It's my first big block car. But yeah, I just wanted to do something a bit different. I'm not going to rule out the fact I'm probably going to end up with turbo setup in it eventually anyway, but this will be a bit of fun in the interim for not a lot of outlay. So yeah, please like and subscribe. I know the other channels say a lot of I think I say it too much, but yeah, it is important that you subscribe. It really does help me know that we're going good and help me bring you better content. I've got plenty more builds to come after this one too, so check them out. Chevy, got anything else to add, big boy? He's asleep. He's tucking. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.
Follow white rabbit.